like to thank everyone for coming this morning to the Cincinnati Human Relations Commission Great Youth Debate. This is the second year that CHRC has sponsored this event. The CHRC staff got the idea last year after seeing the movie The Great Debaters starring Denzel Washington, who portrayed Professor Mel Tolson. Dr. Tolson created a debate team at the historically black Wiley College in 1935. Their debate team became the first black debate team to debate against a white college and win. Last year, the feedback from the audience was overwhelmingly positive in favor of making this CHRC Great Youth Debate an annual event.
The students have gained experience in researching a topic, how to participate in a structured debate, and how to use qualitative data to design and implement a project-based community service project. They also learn how to evaluate data and make recommendations to community leaders, and learn the value of respect for individual human rights as well as human relations.
The first topic shall be diverse racial and ethnic representation should be mandatory in city councils, and that debate will be between Avondale Youth Council and Robert A. Taft Technical High School. We then have unregistered immigrants should not have the same rights as community members, and this debate will be between Summit Country Day and Walnut Hills. And lastly, we have Brown versus Board of Education ruling improves education for all races. And this debate will be between Woodward Career Technical High School and Western Hills High School.
Okay, today's first topic, diverse racial and ethnic representation should be mandatory in city councils. The affirmative is Avondale Youth Council. The opposition, Robert A. Taft Information Technical High School.
In our own city of Cincinnati, and even in Washington, D.C., there are many races running for office, or they already have a seat in their council. In these cities, still, the majority within the councils were just whites and blacks. Even with the slightly diverse councils, there are still the many cultures that are left out. Either they are misrepresented or not even represented at all.
This resolution references racial and ethnic representation. But this is a slippery slope. How far are we willing to go? How long would it take before we are forced to consider gender diversity, religious diversity, or economic diversity? Furthermore, we must consider the power behind the word diversity and how it influences the decisions we are making today.
50 years ago, the majority was making decisions for everyone. But today, with racial diversity being mandatory for city council, it gives every ethnic group the opportunity, regardless of size, to be heard, to have a voice, to vote, to be involved in the full political progress of our American democratic society.
The opposition believes that interfering with our democratic process in order to promote diversity in city council is worthwhile. We have previously asked, is it worth it to put our democratic principles on the line? A bigger question is it necessary to compromise our democratic process? Across our nation, we have achieved both racial and ethnic diversity without using quotas.
Having a diverse city council would build the influence of international ethnic businesses by having someone of their ethnic background representing them. It can influence the minority group to be more involved in government. They will actually feel they have a place and a say in American society.
Diversity will have its good and bad points. It's a natural process. This process will be our own undoing if we were to change it or force it upon ourselves. We must continue to put our faith in the citizens of America and our history of embracing diverse points of view for the betterment of our society.
All right, Team 2, Summit Country Day versus Walnut Hills. Their debate topic is unregistered immigrants should not have the same rights as community members.
Community members refers to American citizens and the various categories of immigrants that entered with the permission of the government. People come to this country for a variety of reasons. The promise of opportunity and economic prosperity, freedom from religious or political persecution, and sometimes an escape from violence.
Resolved, unregistered immigrants should not have the same rights as domestic community members. We must refute this statement. In her poem, The New Colossus, Emma Lazarus states, "Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land, here at our sea-washed sunset gate shall stand a mighty woman with a torch whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, her name, Mother of Exiles."
Our position is not to discriminate against immigrants. Our argument is that those who have come here and are living and working here illegally should not have the same rights as citizens of the United States or immigrants that are here legally or documented.
According to a Newsweek article by Christopher Dickey, 75% of Americans' assumptions on crime rates being related to immigrants are wrong. Superintendent of Chicago Police Department Matt Rodriguez stated that forcing young people onto the streets would have a disastrous long-term effect on public safety.
America cares about its citizens. That is why we create these public and social services. They are benefits of citizenship. How does one get to be a U.S. citizen, you may ask? Well, one way is to be born into the United States. Illegal immigrant children that are born in the United States are U.S. citizens, and thus they should have the same rights as U.S. citizens because they are U.S. citizens.
Unregistered immigrants should have the same rights as American citizens. Over time, they have shown work ethic that has only benefited American society. They have no discrimination to low-wage work. You know why? Because they're not here just taking up space. They came to this country in search of a better life.
Right now, we're going to introduce the third debate, Woodward Career Technical High School versus Western Hills University High School. The debate topic, the Brown versus Board of Education ruling improves education for all races.
The Brown is not all about children and education. It improves racial problems that we dealt with 50 years ago and still has an effect on us today.
Our argument is not with the Brown or the principles of Brown, as written by Chief Justice Earl Warren for the unanimous court. The segregation of children in public schools solely on the basis of their race, even though the physical facilities and other tangible factors may be equal, deprive the children of minority group of equal education opportunities? We believe that it does.
Brown versus the Board of Education has done nothing but help all racial backgrounds, not only on the educational level, but also on the social level. The Brown decisions did more than reverse the Plessy doctrine of separate but equal. It reversed centuries of segregationist practice and thought out of America.
The Brown decision sought to put an end to the inherent inequality created by the separation of races. Biological extension, where racial populations are balanced, Brown has reached, but there is evidence that Brown's reach is failing. The greater the degree of racial imbalance, the greater Brown's failure.
Segregation meaning separate. It was a time where blacks and white people could not drink from the same water fountain, a time when black children feared for their life to even walk in the front door of the school without getting spitted on or their hair pulled. So has the ruling improved education for all races? Boy, has it.
Brown doesn't reach from state to state. Brown doesn't reach from city to city. Brown doesn't even reach from school district to school district. And that is the flaw in Brown. As stated before by my fellow teammate, the higher the racial imbalance in schools, the greater the flaw in Brown. Yes, Brown did reach success in the goal of desegregating the schools, but he failed in his goal of integrating all schools.
This resolution.
I really had never had any experience speaking before in front of a crowd, and this was really good, helping me to get out of my shyness and timidness. So it allowed me to learn a lot about subjects I didn't know and just gave me a good experience all over.
I was really nervous when I went up there. Once I started talking, it seemed like I'm really natural, and I had a lot of support system out in the crowd. It just made me feel really good today.
It enlightened me to see that I took a place and I actually did something positive in the community. This day will always go down in my books. I really love to debate, and one day I will be an attorney, a big attorney.
As a 32-year educator. It is really a pleasure to be here today and to commend these young people for creating such compelling and well-researched and well-presented arguments about diversity and civil rights and inclusion in our city.
It really enlightened me in a sense that, you know, you can't enter a situation with your biases and such like that. You really need to do research and see, you know, where the other person's coming from in order to fully understand an argument and to gain a 360 view on a situation.
I applaud you. I applaud the families because I've worked on both ends in a school district, but I've also been a nurse at the jail. And I see the young people in the jail and they're those ages, and the problem is they lack family support, family and friends. And it's beautiful to see the families here, and I would say to you young people, keep going, don't stop.
I think we've learned a lot by this, such as just to improve our ability of speaking and presenting in front of others, and just learned a lot about our topics, and it's really interesting. And I know with my, what I want to do for my future, it helped me with my whole career ideas, so yeah.
Contrast that even today was very amazing because I never did anything like this before, and I think it'll help me in the future because I would want to go to law school, and this is, I don't know, a great experience.
All right, now the moment everyone's been waiting for. Coming in third place, Western Hills. So give them a round of applause, Western Hills. Congratulations to you. Coming in second place is Walnut Hills. And coming in first place for this year's great debate, want to go ahead and give it up to Summit Country Day.
It feels good to know that all our hard work paid off and all our preparation was worthwhile, definitely, because it feels good to know that everything you worked for finally paid off in the end.
All right, give a round of applause for all of the debaters up here. They did a very good job.
What we witnessed today is what's possible and what can be with our young people. What we witnessed is that these kids just didn't do this last week. They have been studying for weeks in preparation. They have taken time out of their day on Saturday to come down to City Hall and prepare for this debate, to research. They have schools to do, they have other activities to do, and in spite of all of that, they still found time to be part of this debate, and I think that's to be commended. All our young people are not out in the streets. All our young people are not out doing wrong. All our young people here are witnessing what can be and what's possible, and we need to continue to encourage our young people. Great job, young people. Continued success.